So now, let's proceed to ways of teaching for the different kinds of learners. According to Corpus and Salandanon of 2013, enumerated the following approaches and methods. First is the direct demonstration method. Direct method is help student acquire procedural knowledge. Procedural knowledge means the skill needed in the performance or a task. Example is the skill needed in focusing a microscope, playing a basketball, and sewing a pair of pajamas. In demonstration method is employed in presenting lessons that use sophisticated equipment and technical the know and how. Under the direct demonstration method, we can use guided exploratory or discovery approach, inquiry method, problem-based learning or PBL, and project method. Inquiry method is the core of inquiry, is spontaneous and a self-directed exploration. Sometimes termed discovery, heuristic, and problem solving. Defined as a teaching method which is modeled after the investigative process of scientists and obtaining information through direct experiences, investigative, and promotes first-hand experience. In project method, learners solve a practical problem over a period of several days or weeks. So, example is they organize a fundraising campaign for flood victim. Here, it focuses on applying, not imparting, specific knowledge or skills. This is on improving student involvement and motivation in order to foster independent thinking, self-confidence, and social responsibility, sometimes referred to as self-directed study, emphasizes learning by doing and develops manipulative skills. Now, let's proceed on the second one. It is the cooperative learning. Here, in cooperative learning, students work in groups or teams. Learning environment is characterized by strong motivation and smooth interpersonal interactions. Use heterogeneous groupings, and students must exhibit necessary social skills to work cooperatively in group situations. The approaches and method in cooperative learning approaches is peer tutoring, learning action cells, and think pair share. So, peer tutoring is employed when the teacher requests the older, brighter, and more cooperative member of the class to tutor, coach, or teach or instruct other classmates. Example is, mas magaling isang bata na magbasa. So, the teacher can instruct that kid to teach his other classmates to read. Now, let's proceed on the third one, which is the deductive or the inductive approach. Deductive is a direct method. Here, teachers tell directly what she wants to teach. And teachers begin with abstract rule, generalization, principle, and ends with specific examples and concrete details. Example is yung teacher, binigay niya yung rule on adding fractions, tapos after that, magbibigay siya ng example. Katapos nun, magbibigay siya ng gagawin ng mga bata. So, ang disadvantage naman ng deductive is not active process for the students because this is a less involvement to their part. So, let's now proceed on inductive approach. Inductive approach is indirect, guided, and exploratory. It is also called indirect instruction. It is begin with questions, problem, and details, and end up with answers, generalization, and conclusions. Kung kanina sa deductive approach, teacher will first give the rule about adding fractions. Here in inductive approach, teachers will give examples of added similar fractions and ask yung student to study the example and ask them to explain how they arrive at the sums, then ask them to state the rules. So now, let's proceed on other approaches. Under other approaches, the approaches and methods that we can use is blended learning, reflective teaching, integrated learning, and outcomes-based approach. In other approach, blended learning. It is a combination of different modes of delivery, models of teaching, and styles of learning, and is based on transparent communication. It also described as integrative learning, hybrid learning, mobile learning, and online learning. Like what they implement when pandemic arise. Diba? They implement online learning so that the students still can study at home even we are far away. We use online so that we can still continue to study. Reflective learning is through analysis and evaluation of past experiences. The strategies that we can use here is writing journals and keeping a portfolio. Example in writing journals, reveals feelings about the day's activities, including what could have enhanced or inhibited their learning. Example, pag gagawain natin yung bata ng journal nila, which is isusulat nila yung mga nangyayari sa kanila sa isang araw. Basta susulat nila yung mga ginagawa nila. So, that, pwede nating gamitin yung way para malaman kung saan natin sila pwedeng tulungan. Kunwari, ginawa nila sa araw na yun, nagbasa sila, which is, sabi niyang, nahihirapan siyang magbasa. So, as a teacher, ano ba ang pwede nating gawin para ma-enhance ang skill nila sa pagbabasa? So, ano bang magagawa natin? So, pwede natin pagtuunan ng pansin or pwede tayong humanap pa ng ibang way para matulungan yung bata sa kanyang pagbabasa para mag-improve ito. Sa keeping a portfolio naman is, a portfolio is a very personal document which includes frank, honest, and on-the-spot account of experiences, instant thoughts, first-hand observation, and personal knowledge. Example, pwede yung mga activities ng mga bata. Pwede nating ipunin yon and gagawin nating portfolio. Lahat-lahat ng mga ginagawa nila. Yung pagkikip natin ng portfolio is, if ever na magka-problema tayo sa grades nila, kasi they will ask if, bakit mababa sila? So, pwede natin yung ipakita sa kanila para matrack nila na ganun pala, kaya pala ako mababa kasi mababa nakuha ko. So pwede yon maging motivation ng bata para galingan sa susunod, so magiging mataas ng grade niya sa susunod. So in reflective teaching is best described as one born of experience that have been deeply taught, of analyzed and evaluated reflection is inseparable from experience. Experience is not yet best, but reflection is.